Hey church, Pastor Jared here. It's a rainy Thursday and I've got a few things I wanted to share with you. So thanks for taking time to listen. Hey, we have started outdoor church and it has been so much fun to see so many faces and get to smile at you and get to see your smiles, get to see how much some of the kids have grown. It's been awesome, but it's also been a little sad. It's like, oh man, so much time has gone by since I've seen so many of you in person. And so anyway, outside church is going great. The Spirit of the Lord has been there. This weekend alone just had numerous people talking about what God was saying to them. One guy just in a really tough place broke down in tears as we were talking about how faithful God is. And so it's just been a great time to experience the Holy Spirit together. And so that's been awesome for those of you who've been able to make that. I did want to make a few things maybe more clear than they are. And that is that outside church really is a great option for us for various comfort levels in the middle of this pandemic. And so some people are simply driving in with their windows up, parking on the hill where we've got drive-in church parking, and they're opening up their hatch, and their kids are sitting in the back, or maybe they're even putting their chairs out right next to the car. And it really has been awesome to see how people have just kind of respected that, waved from 20 minutes away, they get back in their car, and they leave. And so if that's where you're at right now, if that makes sense for you, you know, maybe you're in a vulnerable place, maybe people you're with are a vulnerable place, or maybe you're just thinking, man, this is the wise thing for our family to do. That's totally and completely an option. So we've seen people just doing drive-in church. Drive in, be a part of this thing, and then drive out. Others have hopped out, put their kids in kids ministry. If that makes sense, all the kids are masked. They're having a great time there. The children's ministry team has done an amazing job there. Lots of cleaning going on and those sorts of things, but they're masked and in smaller groups there. And then those people are, you know, maybe some of them are bringing their lawn chair and doing that thing. And so I really just want to reiterate a couple of things. Number one, it really is an awesome option for those varying comfort levels with the pandemic. And then secondly, it's not that far out of town, all right? And so if you haven't been there yet, you might be surprised that you're heading on Castle, and then just as soon as you cross over I-70, boom, it's right there. So it's not a long drive at all, okay? And so lots of options, and it's not too far out of town. Wanted to share those couple things with you. Another thing I want to say is that it's been a bit of a challenge doing online church outside, all right? And so we've got some new software that we've been learning and figuring out. We've got multiple cameras going on and all these sorts of things. The problem we've been having is that we're trying to get internet speeds in the middle of a field. And so that has been the challenge for a little while, but I wanted to communicate that, you know, now that we're doing outside church, our vision still is that online church is still the way in which at least half of our church is engaging, and it's super important to us. So I know the last couple of weeks have been a little shaky. Last 3 weeks have been a little shaky on the online front. Just know that we're working on it and that the issue has been the bandwidth. So we're going to try a couple more things out, and if the worst thing happens, what we're going to do is we're going to record it at 9 and then replay it at 11, knowing that it'll have perfect connection. So we might be heading there. We'll stay tuned for that. But it is important to us. You are important to us. Don't think that just because we're doing online or outside church that online church is in some way taking a back seat. It's not. It's just been tough with the connections out in the middle of the field. All right? Third thing I wanted to say is that outside church is going to be going on unless it's raining. Okay? So we're going to make the call probably, you know, Sunday mornings about 6 o'clock. If you wake up and it seems like it's been wet, like this weekend probably will, we'll make the call and then we'll communicate on all the social medias, on Realm and things, and say, hey, we're going to be online only. So then what will happen is we will drag our trailer from the field, we'll set up here in the church, a small team of us, and we will then just go live at 9 a.m. For online church, and then outside church will not be happening. Okay, so in case of rain, we'll be strictly online, and online is important. And outside is a viable option. All right, and then the last thing I want to say is that I've been reading in Psalm 51. It's this beautiful place where it talks about our hearts. And it says, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew, the way that I memorized it was, renew a right spirit in me. But a new translation that I've been reading says, renew a steadfast spirit in me. And I just want to encourage you, church, God is not tired. God is not exhausted. God is not at the end of his rope with this pandemic. God's still at work. And he's at work in you. He's at work getting to you. And so I pray this week, I've been praying this week, that you would have a renewed steadfast. I know the news of school being delayed, that's been hard on people. I know that just the weight of this thing dragging out has been tough. Hey, we're going to live with a renewed spirit. The spirit who is inside of you is greater than the spirit who is in the world and against you. And so take heart. Take heart. God is for you. God is not against you. And that he's working through all the bummers that are going on. He's working through all of those things. And he is your strength. He is your hope. And he's doing stuff in us in the middle of this thing. He's doing stuff in us that he couldn't do in us outside of these circumstances. I love you so much. Stay strong. Hope to see you soon, whether it's outside or online. And then lastly, I'll just say this. Help us as a church. We're a small staff here. Help us as a church and your neighborhood church leaders and those around you. Help us know how to love you well in this season. All right? So if you need something, you holler. If you just say, hey, I just want to talk to somebody. I just haven't seen anybody in so long. Reach out. Okay? We would love to make that happen. And so help us love you better. I love you so much. I bless you. See you later.